Hey everybody, it's Highline Alchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. In the last episode, we did the Misery Mire, and in this episode, we are about to head over to our next dungeon by having to take a little trip to the Light World first, because there's one little portal here around in this area where the Fairies Fountain is. And that is actually the only way we need to go to get to the next dungeon. First and foremost, yeah, I know it's been such a long time coming since I last uploaded anything on this channel, but I will explain, well, okay, I'm pretty sure you guys already know because I've made several updates about it and it's pretty much the same thing, so. And yeah, I was just about to get rid of these guys, but there's so many of those other enemies right here just bombarding me. Anyways, welcome to the Ice Palace. Let me tell you, the Ice Palace is an absolute pain in the dick. That much I will say. First of all, we have a new enemy right here. These are the Freezors. Freezors, they will always come for whatever direction that you're in. The only way to ever defeat them is just by using the Fire Rod. And they just melt. Like that. So yeah. The Ice Palace. I hate this place. I really do. This place sucks. For reasons, of course, where we can see, first one that you just saw is the ice physics. The ice physics are very horrible, but then again, I really never liked ice physics in video games and just in general. Because, I mean, they have, like, as you know, they're very slippery, they have very much piss-poor traction, and they're just a pain in the ass to control. Another enemy right here, these are the Pengators. And they'll just slide like right to you when they're charging. And this is where the Bombus Medallion really comes into play. Well, I mean, you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but I always would prefer to use the Bombus Medallion whenever there's like a whole bunch of enemies in one room. Just to make things a little easier for me. Anyway, back to why this the Ice Palace sucks. Of course, the ice physics being one of them. Another reason is because there's one certain puzzle that we're going to get to, and this is the whole reason why I actually went to the Misery Mire first, just to get the Cane of Samoria, and you'll see why once we actually get there. But after a bit of that's out of the way, oh, and also there's a lot of floors in the Ice Palace, just want to throw that out there. There are a lot of floors, a shit ton of floors, so yeah, there's that. So. Anyway, yeah, I know, it's been like, what, about a month or two since I've uploaded anything on this channel. I know this shit like this keeps happening, and I never explain to you guys what was going on and why I've been, updating. Well, I mean, I did post a couple update videos, just, well, mainly just reminder update videos about what's usually been going on in my life, but, yeah, same stuff like that, and also, me just trying to catch up with life. That's what I've been trying to do. All I've been doing is just trying to play catch up with my life here, like, you know, all my kind of responsibilities and whatnot. And because of that, I just haven't been very motivated, or just not very much in the mood to do any commentary for the videos I post. Now, granted, I actually did, like, I did already record this footage and edit them all together months ago. Yeah, this footage right here, this video that I'm commentating over, it's been like about a couple months old right now since I just since I just published it and just put it into my files, but I just never commentated over them because I just didn't really have the energy or the motivation to commentate over them. And just at the very least, just make them entertaining. But with that aside, that enemy that just dropped down right now, those are Stalfos. Unlike the ones in Zelda 1, where you can just knock them down until they're dead. Well, I mean, like, you know, with all these sword jabs. It actually takes a little bit of strategy, because what you have to do is that if you just strike them with a sword first, then they will crumble down. They'll just crumble to pieces. And then what you have to do next is that you have to place a bomb there, and then that'll just ultimately kill them off. I don't really think that there is actually a way to just, whatchamacallit, just, like, constantly defeat them down with just a sword instead of just having to use the bombs. Even if there was a way, it probably would have taken forever to do so. And here's another one of those pain in the ass rooms. We got these bars here, and also the babasus. Yeah, they're the babasus coming at you. And also this very big conveyor belt, and also the spikes. That's what you want to watch out for. And this right here is a bad design. Well, I think my mistake was that I actually could have used the hook shot to get across these skulls, but I was an idiot and I didn't even bother to do so, and therefore I just went across anyway, just hitting the switch and then just risking myself getting hit by the fire bar that's right there. Because I was such an idiot. I just forgot about the hook shot anyway. How could I even forget about the hook shot when I seriously freaking love that item? I guess the thing about some items in Zelda is that, like, I would use them whenever you actually do need them. But for other things, like, sometimes I tend to forget to use some of those items. Like, for convenience sakes. I mean, that happens. Oh, and here's another thing about the dungeon. There's also another item in this dungeon that, that's actually, would make things a little easier, especially if you're in the Dark World. Like, you know, a little bit of defense boost, which we will get later on. That's one thing where this is kind of like a sadistic choice. Where, like, if you want to get through the Ice Palace very much easily by using the Canis of Mario, then you go for the Misery Mire first. But then there's like a shit ton of enemies like we already saw in the last episode when we were there. And that item with the defense boost would have been easier. So it's like, you know, take your pick. It's very much of a sadistic choice like that. So, anyways, yeah. Not much else to say about this dungeon, other than the fact that it sucks dick. Oh, here's another thing I actually want to talk about. Well, actually, hang on. Oh, that's not where we get that one item. A while back, YouTube made this kind of a new rule where like a lot of the content creators, like okay, first of all, I know I am perfectly aware that I am not a very popular channel. I only have, like, well, right now 20 subscribers. I mean, kind of a small number, but, like, that's not really matters. I mean, I appreciate for all the subscribers here, and I'm actually kind of surprised for how far I've come. Like, you know, just 20 followers. It's, you know, just surprising. I mean, I kind of start with oh, let's see, about 2 subscribers, and now here today I have about 20 of them. And yeah, I actually did kind of cut this footage right here, because I think at one point I kind of screwed up a bit. And of course, that's what's probably gonna happen if I just screw up. So yeah, you just see the all the skulls appearing right out of thin air. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, a lot of the content creators, like for any kind of the default money they would make from YouTube, whenever they curse or swear, then some of their amount of money, some of the amount of money they would make on YouTube would kind of subtract, depending on the amount of times they would curse or swear. And, you know, it's one of those things where I really did see, like, I actually kind of knew this would happen. I mean, we all expected it to be, because there were, like, some complaints about YouTube, like, you know, just about people cursing or swearing. Well, I mean, for one thing, we have YouTube Kids now. But, like, you know, YouTube's just so worried about kids coming into YouTube, like, you know, even with all the stuff that are just mainly for adults. But we also have YouTube Kids for a reason. I mean, they could just, like, you know, just go there instead, but, well, you know, we live in a generation in which, just kids doing whatever the fuck they want. Mainly because of bad parenting, but yeah, bottom line is that, like, they wouldn't just make as much money for the amount of times they curse. And I know, I'm fully aware that I don't have very many followers. I have 20 right now, and because of that, I'm not all that famous. But the thing about it is, though, like, I'm one of those guys who actually do curse. I mean, I don't curse as much. I mean, I pretty much have good control over the way I curse, but for most of the times, I actually kind of do. I mean, it's part of who I am. So, I mean, maybe I'll curse, maybe I won't, but, you know, it is what it is, so... And this asshole, this jerk-off right here, and yeah, I know, I kind of swear, but I'm not gonna just, you know, continuously say that whenever I do swear, but... Anyway, that jerk-off right there just knocked me out when I was trying to hookshot over there, but... You know, I probably could have waited until he kind of got out of the way, but... I was a little too impatient and hasty. It's kind of how I am, though. I tend to get a little hasty at some things. That's the thing about those that, like, you know, the Baris, especially the red ones, they're much more a pain in the ass, because, like, you know, after killing them, they just split into little Beeries. And you had to, like, you know, wait until the right time to actually strike them. Because they would, like, so they would do that and it would electrocute you. So yeah, that's one thing that happened. Again, it's one of those things where I kind of saw that coming. But, you know... I mean, I'm still gonna curse anyway, you know, it is what it is, so... I mean, that's the thing about this channel. Not that I'm really famous at all or anything. Like, I just have a rather small following. I mean, you know, I mean... The thing about for me, though, is that, like... I'm not really here on YouTube just for attention or just for the amount of subscribers I get. I'm just a guy who likes to play video games, and I just like to entertain people. That's really what I'm here for, is just, you know, just entertaining a lot of people. I mean, I really do appreciate the amount of subscribers I have. I'm really thankful for that. For all you guys watching and, you know, and just enjoying and just following my channel. I really do appreciate that. But, you know, just a guy who likes to play video games, nothing more. Just, you know, just a very entertaining kind of guy. I mean, with this channel just being both, like, you know, being a very good balance of being both informative, but also most of the times providing a lot of comedy. That's the thing about entertaining, is just, you know, informing people about all this stuff, and just, as well as private comedy. It's like, you know, an informative / comedy channel. That's pretty much what it is. Well, depending on the amount of jokes I would have. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go a lot of topic here, so... Yeah, just not much to say about this dungeon. Let's see, how much are we at a time? Yeah, 12:46. I think if I remember correctly, we're just about getting close to the, to where we would, to where we would get the item for this dungeon, and... Okay, well, that's just the key right here. Actually, no, it's just in that big chest. A Link to the Past is like where, these, bigger chests where you just use the big key, and then that's where you get the dungeon's item. See, another thing that's going on, it is fucking cold outside. It really is. Yeah, this is just coming from the guy who really has nothing else to say right now. But, I kind of want to, you know, just make conversation with you guys. That's just what I want to do, but... Yeah, right now, the temperature has dropped here in Florida. Well, at least here in, Central Florida, which is where I live. And, you know, like... As everybody else knows, or at least those who actually do live in Florida, or at least, you know much about Florida, is that it never snows here. I mean, the closer we get for just being cold is that the temperature just drops, but, like, you know, just still not any snow at all. It just gets very, very cold. But not to the extent of some other states, like, especially up in the north, which would be the reason why it snows. But anyways, so yeah, now we have the blue mail. And the blue mail is actually increasing your defense. And yeah, that's actually, like, you know, one thing if you just, it makes things a little easier for you when you're in the Dark World, especially with the stronger enemies. But again, it'll also make the, Misery Mire much less of a pain in the ass. But, like, you know, which do you choose, the blue mail or the Cadence Samaria? And I think just in a little bit, this is where the, Cadence Samaria will come into play. If you don't have the Cadence Samaria, like, if you actually do come to the Ice Palace before entering the Misery Mire, Well, you're gonna be here for a very long time. But, like, you know, I'll just go ahead and explain here. This is actually where you do that one puzzle. This is the one, the very pain in the ass room. The one thing that's the most, like, you know, the most pain in the ass thing about the Ice Palace is that there's a little switch right here on the bottom of the skull. However, it's actually one of those switches where you step on it and then just come out of the switch, then the door just closes. And what you actually have to do, if you don't have the Cane of Samaria, you actually have to do a lot of backtracking multiple times just to get to that one room where, like on the upper floors with that one block, and you have to make sure, and yeah, I just got turned to money, but anyway, you actually have to do, like, you know, a lot of backtracking and just a lot of block pushing, and you have to make it to where, like, the one block would just fall right from the ceiling all the way down to that switch, and then that's when the door will open. If you do not have the Cane of Samaria, that's what it entails. And it is an absolute pain in the ass. I've actually done this before, trust me. I've experienced that before. I actually did. Like, in my first playthrough of this game, I actually did go get to the Ice Palace before the Misery Mire, and that's when I really regret it. Just lots of backtracking, and it's just... oh, God. That was just... ugh. I've hated it so much. I've hated every bit of it. But if you do get to the Misery Mire first, and then you have the Cane of Samaria, then... The puzzle just, the puzzle just, like, you know, piss-ass easy. It really is. Just, use a Cane of Samaria just makes the puzzle look like a complete joke. So it's a good thing I actually did remember that, just to make sure I wouldn't go through this. Despite the fact, despite how, despite the amount of enemies that the Misery Mire has. But, you know, it was still worth it. I just want to get through that puzzle. That's all that matters, so... anyways, with that, now we have reached the boss, just in no time at all, and this is Cold Stare. The first thing you want to do is that there's actually, like, of course, two phases. First thing is that you have to use the fire rod and to make this, to make the ice surrounding Cold Stare melt. And after you do that, then he'll just split into three, and you can actually either use a fire rod, but it's best to just use a sword if you don't want to waste your magic. And pretty much that's what I'm doing. Watch out for those ice blocks that fall from the ceiling as well. And they also split into four, and they can also hit you as well. So you do want to be careful with that. Oh, another thing I also want to bring up, in the GBA version of Link to the Past, they actually did change the puzzle for the Ice Palace, the block puzzle. I can't exactly remember how it was. I mean, it's actually... they actually just, you know, shortened the amount of time it would take to get that block puzzle done. But you didn't really need the Cane of Samaria for anything like that, and, you know, it just takes them out... and yeah, I just died right there, but luckily, I did have a fairy with me. See? It's always good to be prepared, but... anyway, yeah. It's been such a long time since I played the GBA version of this game. So I don't remember exactly how that puzzle was, but I just remember that it just wasn't as long. It didn't really require a lot of backtracking to get through that room. But you didn't really need the Cane of Samaria either, so it's just a little easier and a little less of a pain in the ass. Like, you know, the game developers actually took notice of that, and so that's why they changed that kind of bit in the GBA version. It's actually one of those, the only very few changes that the GBA version has, while the majority of it's pretty much the same. Aside from the bit of a screen crunch. And also just having to hear young Link's voice clips. Which is kind of weird, though, because I think it's already been said that Link was supposedly a teenager here in Link to the Past, so, like, it's like maybe it's sounding like a bit of an older sounding voice. But in the GBA version, they actually reused, like, you know, young Link's voice clips from Ocarina of Time. Like, in his kid age. And it does get pretty annoying to hear. I would say, if just, you know, just hearing that over and over every time he just... Every time he just swing his sword, like, you know, he just stubbed his toe. But, anyways, now the Ice Palace is finally done. So then, we have released the first 6 of the Maidens, and now the last thing we have to do, you actually recall at the end of the Misery Mire that One of the maidens, well, the Misery Mire was actually supposed to be the 6th dungeon. But since we made the Ice Palace the 6th dungeon as well, that means that we have actually one more dungeon to go, and that's where we can release Princess Zelda. And it's actually said that they said that she's being held captive at Turtle Rock, which is in the Dark World version of Death Mountain. So that is where we'll be going, unless if there's going to be any other optional side quests that we'll do. But I'm pretty sure that in the next episode we'll be heading up to Turtle Rock, and that's where we'll free Princess Zelda. So anyways, until next time, see you guys later.